Okay children, this is for class 8 lesson number 2, that is microorganisms. Yes, we are discussing about this topic. Let us continue that lesson. So in last class we have discussed about the definition of microorganisms and their different group and their different types of microorganisms. So once let us see this animation of today, continue that lesson, that is microorganisms. See, now let us see the animation of habitat of these microorganisms. Look at this animation.
Microbes are very small living organisms that can be seen only by microscope, which magnifies their image so we can see them. Microorganisms occur in an amazing variety of shapes and sizes, and they are divided into one of five groups: bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa, and algae. Bacteria are found in every habitat on Earth, for example, rock, oceans, and even Arctic snow. Bacterial cells are also found in the lining of intestinal tract. Some bacteria live in the soil or on dead plant matter where they play an important role in the cycling of nutrients. The other microorganisms are viruses. They can be filamentous, helical, complex, spherical, and icosahedral in shape. Viruses are minute organisms virtually found in every ecosystem on Earth. A virus is a microscopic organism that can replicate only inside the cells of a host organism. Fungi can be single-celled or very complex multicellular organisms. They are found in any habitat, but most live on the land, mainly in soil or on plant material. A group called the decomposers grows in the soil or on dead plant matter where they play an important role in the cycling of carbon and other elements. Protozoa are single-celled organisms. They are found in different shapes and sizes, ranging from an amoeba, which can change its shape, to paramecium, with its fixed shape and complex structure. They are mostly found in moist habitats, including freshwater, marine environments, and the soil. Algae can exist either as single cells, example Chlamydomonas, or joined together in chains like Spirogyra are made up of many cells. Most algae live in fresh or seawater where they can either be free-floating, planktonic, or attached to the bottom. Some algae can grow on rocks or soil as long as there is enough moisture. A few algae form very close partnerships with fungi to form lichens. Microorganisms play a very important role in our lives. Some microbes cause disease, but the majorities are completely harmless and are useful in pharmaceutical and baking industry.
Okay, so just you have recalled in last class that what we have studied. Yes, like this, by seeing this, you can completely understand about the microscope and its types. Yes. So now let us discuss how these microorganisms are friend for us. Yes, means friend means how these microorganisms are useful for us. See, microorganisms have both beneficial and harmful effects on our life. So these microorganisms may help first, but also which have which also harmful for us. Yes. So now in this useful of microorganisms, how these microorganisms are useful for us. See, microorganisms are used for various purposes such as preparation of curd, yes, and bread, making bread, cake, alcohol, wine, and acetic acid, which is nothing but vinegar. So to prepare these all, we need microorganisms. Okay. So with the help of these microorganisms, we can prepare such a food items, yes, like curd. In this you might have seen that the bacteria, that is lactobacillus. Okay, so the bread, yes, cake, yeast, which is used to make bread, cakes, and alcohol, the yeast cells, yes, wine and acetic acid. So these are the some useful microorganisms that we can make these food items. Yes, so these microorganisms which are used for various purpose. See lactose, which is present in the milk. Yes, milk can be converted into curd by the bacteria lactobacillus bacterium. Yes, so with the help of this bacteria, we can convert the milk into curd. So lactobacillus bacterium, which converts the lactose into lactic acid, which imparts your sour taste. Lactic acid means what? Which is nothing but sour to taste. Okay, in class 7th you have studied about acids and bases. Yes, acids are generally sour to, that is sour to taste. Yes, so by this bacteria we get the taste of sour by converting bacteria lactobacillus into lactic acid. Yes, see, it multiplies in milk and converts it into curd. Okay, it multiplies in milk and it converts into curd. Next is what? Yeast is a unicellular fungus. Yeast is a unicellular fungus and it can reproduce very quickly. It has capacity to reproduce very quickly. That is quickly, sorry. So when added to duff, it produces carbon dioxide and during the respiration. See, when added to duff means when while you making bread or cake at your home, means when you add that yeast powder, means what will happen? It start blow. Yes, why? Because it added to dough and it has the capacity to produce carbon dioxide or a gas. Due to that reason, we can see the dough. Yes. So during the respiration, carbon dioxide fills the dough and causes and increases its volume of a dough. Dough means what? The while you are making the cake and breads, means you take the dough in a bowler. Yes, when you add that dough to this yeast powder, means what will happen? That dough becomes, its volume becomes increases. When you keep it for a side for few minutes, means it will become increase its value. Why? Because it produces the carbon dioxide. Due to that reason, it increases the volume of dough. So this is called as what? Rising of dough. We can see, that's the reason we can see the sponge like a structure of that cakes, and which is very smooth. Yes, the cakes and breads are very smooth to eat. Okay, so that sponginess which can comes only by the producing carbon dioxide by this fungus. Okay, so these fungus which produce carbon dioxide. So this dough can be used for making bread or cakes. With the help of that dough, we can use it to make bread or cakes. Yes, atta, we can say that what? Atta. Dough means atta. Yes, we use it to make cakes and breads, no? So like. See, next is what? Fermentation is the process, the commercial use of fermentation and fermentation. See, fermentation is the process of conversion of sugar into alcohol through the action of yeast in an anaerobic condition. Anaerobic condition means what here? Aerobic and anaerobic. Yes, in respiration lesson you have studied in class 7. What do you mean by aerobic and anaerobic? Anaerobic. First, so during the respiration using of oxygen, which is nothing but aerobic, which is not using the oxygen, which is nothing but what? Anaerobic. Okay. See, aerobic and anaerobic you have studied in class 7. So what do you mean by this fermentation? It is the process of conversion of sugar into alcohol through the action of yeast. Okay. By the action of, we can convert sugar is a form of carbohydrate. Yes. So this can be convert into the alcohol through the action of yeast in the absence of what? Anaerobic. Okay, in the presence of oxygen, what will produce? That is carbon dioxide is produced. Yes. Whereas in the absence of oxygen, by the action of yeast, the sugar can be converted. Sugar, which is nothing but what here? Carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, sugar is the form of carbohydrate. Yes. So this can be converted into the alcohol. How it can be converted into the alcohol? By the action of yeast. By the action of yeast in an anaerobic condition. In an anaerobic condition means in the absence of oxygen. Okay. So this is invented by the scientist, that is who? Louis Pasteur. Okay. So he was the scientist who discovered this fermentation in 1857. Okay. So he was invented what? We can convert the sugar into alcohol by the action of yeast. Okay. So that in a anaerobic condition. So who invented the fermentation process? That is Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. See, what are the medicinal uses of these microorganisms? Yes. See, microorganisms also play an important role in the production of chemicals. Okay. So why these microorganisms are used in chemicals? Why? Because these can kill the diseases causing microorganisms. I told you that some organisms which are also useful for us. Okay. It has the capacity to disease causing microorganisms. So some organisms, these organisms which produce some chemicals. Okay, some organisms which produce chemicals. By these chemicals can be kill the disease causing microorganisms. The organisms which are there which can kill, which can destroy the cells like viruses and all that. Yes, bacteria. So which has the capacity to destroy the cells and some parts. Yes. So by this what? So some of the organisms are there which produce some chemicals. By that chemicals they can kill the disease causing microorganisms. See, such a chemicals are marketed as medicines called what? Antibiotics. Okay. So those organisms which produce chemicals and that can kill that disease causing microorganisms was marketed as a medicines, and such medicines which we are called as what? Antibiotics. So these substances are responsible for killing. So these are the substances which produce chemicals that are responsible for killing or stopping the growth of. It can kill the that is what? Disease causing microbes, or to stop the growth of disease causing the microorganisms. So such as that is streptomycin and tetracycline, etc. Okay. So you might have observed that on the medicines you noticed that is, and especially antibiotic tonics, yes, which are used for especially kids. Why? Because they got lot of attacked by the viruses. Okay. So to kill that viruses, we use the antibiotic medicines. Okay. On that some of the chemicals you might have seen that are what? That are the microorganic chemicals. Okay, for example, that is streptomycin and tetracycline, etc. So these are the microorganism chemicals, so which is used to killing or the stop growing of disease causing microbes. The first antibiotic was invented by the scientist, that is what, Alexander Fleming. So he was the scientist who invented first time the antibiotic medicine, that we have called it as what, that is penicillin. Okay, so penicillin, which is one of the most developed antibiotic injection, still till now we are using this penicillin injection. Yes, so this is penicillin antibiotic, which was invented by the scientist, that is who, Alexander Fleming. Okay, so Alexander Fleming discovered this in 1929. So during his experiment, he found the destruction of bacteria, that is bacterial colonies of Staphylococcus by the mold penicillin. And this proves the production of antibacterial agent by the mold. See, he tested further and discovered that penicillin produced by the mold and could kill certain types of diseases causing bacteria. See, antibiotics should be taken on the advice of a only qualified doctor. This antibiotics we can only take, should be taken on advice of a qualified doctor. See, the course of antibiotics must be completed. Who has completed the course of antibiotics? That is pharmacists. Okay, D-Pharm. So only we can we can take that antibiotics advising of a qualified doctor, or the who are course of antibiotic must be done like the D pharmacy, like PharmD. Yes, who have worked on that antibiotics. See, it should not be taken in wrong doses. Okay, which is also very important. We should not take a wrong doses, or when not required, as it may prove to be infective. Okay, it should be proved that our body infected by some viruses or some bacteria, then only we can take the antibiotics. Why? Because antibiotics only has the capacity to destroy or kill the bacteria, that is disease causing microorganisms, not for other. Yes, so due to that reason, when not required, as it may prove to be, it is infective by some organisms, it is infective by some bacteria or some viruses. Okay, so suppose the antibiotic which is only required for to stop growing of bacteria, or which is only required to stop growing viruses, so which work on that only. These antibiotics only work on that only, not to other diseases. Yes, so which is also very important, that it should be taken to the, it is advising you to the only take by the advising of qualified doctor. Okay, so it should not be taken in wrong doses or when not required, as it may prove to be, it is ineffective when actually required. So if taken unnecessarily means, what happens if it is not, if suppose our body not affected by any microorganisms, means in that case we took that medicine, means what will happen, it may kill the beneficial bacteria in our body. So those bacteria which are present in our body, that may helpful to destroy. Yes, so it can also possible to destroy such a bacteria unnecessarily we took that antibiotics is. Okay. See, they are also infective against cold and flu, as they are caused by viruses. Okay, so they are also ineffective against cold and flu, as they are caused by viruses, because antibiotics means to kill the bacteria or to stop growing bacteria or viruses. Suppose some antibiotics which fight against only, which used only to kill the bacteria, not viruses. Okay, so it should be marked on that only that we can take, suppose it could be ineffective against the cold and flu as they are caused by the viruses. See, these are the vaccines. To kill, vaccines means what here? Next we will discuss one topic, that is what? Vaccines. See, vaccines which was invented by the scientist, that is what? Edward Jenner. Okay, it was invented by scientist Edward Jenner, who discovered vaccine in 1796 for the protection against the smallpox. Smallpox is kind of a bacterial infection disease. Okay, so this could be, he was invented a vaccine to kill the bacteria which cause disease, this, that is smallpox. So vaccines are prepared from the killed or attenuated microorganisms. After the introduction in the human body, they stimulate the formation of antibodies which provide immunity against the microorganisms. So you know that our body has the immunity system. Immunity system means what? Our body produces some antidotes. Okay, so that antidotes which help us to kill the bacteria, some harmful bacteria or viruses, any such a harmful viruses, bacteria which enters our body. No, our own body has the capacity to produce that antibodies. Okay, so by that antibodies we get the capacity to kill that harmful bacteria and viruses. So just that is now what we call as what? Immunity system of our body. Just now I have told in last class that I told you that some antibodies which are present in our body and which kills the virus and the bacteria. Okay, and immunity system which is nothing but have the increasing amount of more amount of antibodies in our body. Okay, so after the introduction in the human body, they stimulate the formation of antibodies. So just like these are the vaccination, these are the vaccine which help us to kill or to stop growing such a which produce these vaccines are nothing but what? It increases our immunity system to kill that particular viruses or bacteria. Okay, just like our body has the own capacity to kill bacteria and viruses, likewise these vaccines, when it enters our body, when it gives to our body, means we get a capacity to kill such a bacteria which affect us, like polio and all that we give before in a earlier childhood. Yes, why? Because some of the bacteria which infect us in a future life, due to that reason we give before only in early child to avoid from that. Okay, so just like these vaccines which helps to increase the immunity system, increase the antidotes that help us to kill the such bacteria when it suppose in enters our body mix. Yes, so that is how these vaccines are prepared from the killed or attenuated microorganisms. Okay, which provide immunity against the microorganisms, which provide the immunity. These vaccines which provide, we inject these vaccines and in the body, and by that it provide the immunity to kill against the microorganisms. So antibodies are produced in our body also. I told you that these antibodies are produced in our body when a disease causing microbe enters in it. So these antibodies remain in the body for our protection if microbes enters again. Okay, it remains our body. See, these antibodies fight and kill the microorganisms when they enter the body. Okay, so these antibodies fight and kill the microorganisms when they enter our body. Just I told you that in last class that about coronavirus. Yes, suppose it enters our immunity system, our the antibodies which are more in our body, means it has the capacity to kill that virus. Okay, it will get to be it can get only to have such a diet. Okay, such a good diet, that is the food which we take, it must and should be healthy. Okay, don't have like junk foods. Okay, to avoid for just you avoid these junk foods for few days. Yes, to until that we escape from this virus, this coronavirus. Have some nutrition food like greens, cereals, as fresh, especially fresh fruits and vegetables, which have the capacity to include the most of the vitamins which are present in the fresh fruits and vitamins. Yes, by that we can improve our immunity system. We can improve our antibodies in our body. Okay, so have some nutritional food, through that we can get through that we can improve our immunity system also, to increase antibodies. Okay, so these antibodies which is produced only by having a nutrient food. Yes, especially fresh fruits and vegetables, cereals, those which we get from plant products. Okay, so these antibodies fight and kill the microorganisms when they enter the body. See, so many diseases can now be prevented by the use of vaccines like chickenpox. So by taking vaccines, many diseases can be prevented by the use of these vaccines like chickenpox, diphtheria. Yes, last year we took the injection. Yes, that is nothing but what? Diphtheria. Okay, to we get the immunity to, we get the antibody to fight against this disease like diphtheria. Yes, so last year we took one injection. No, so this is what, like hepatitis and measles. So these etc, these are the such vaccines. So these are, by taking the vaccines we can avoid, we can protect from, we can prevent from these diseases. See, in Pulse Polio program, the polio drops which are given to children are actually vaccine to increase the immunity system, to produce the antibody to our body that can kill by this bacteria, that can fight against the bacteria. So next, increasing the soil fertility. So these microorganisms which are also to increase the soil fertility. Okay, like fertility of the soil requires constantly supply of proper amounts of organic and inorganic nutrients, helping the growth of crops. Okay, so to fertilize the soil, to get a good healthy plants, means the soil requires a constant supply of proper amounts of the organic and inorganic nutrients. Okay, so we need a good kind of a food, means we have to get a healthy plants. Yes, for that purpose we need to make the soil to have a proper amount of a nutriential substances. Yes, so which help us to the growth of crops. See, the availability of both organic and inorganic nutrients determines the fertility of the soil. See, bacteria and blue-green algae. So these two are the microorganisms which helps in the increasing the soil fertility. Okay, so these are the some bacteria. It is very necessary to improve the nutrient of our plants. Okay, so these are the such a microorganisms that help us to increasing the soil fertility. How? By the fixation of nitrogen in the soil. As you know that plants does not take nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere. Okay, so it took only by the soil. Okay, why? Because to convert protein, yes, into simple substance, means it need what? Nitrogenous. Why? Because amino acids are the nitrogenous substance. Amino acids are what? Amino acids are the simplest form of proteins. Yes, so it need, these proteins are the nitrogenous substance. So plants need to develop to get the nutrient, that is protein. For that purpose it need nitrogen. Okay, how we get nitrogen from plants? Only by the soil. Okay, not by the atmosphere. Okay, you know that in the atmosphere 70% of atmosphere contains nitrogen. Yes, more than 70. So these are the some bacteria which help us to fixation of nitrogen in the soil. So microbes involved are called biological nitrogen fixers. Okay, these microbes which are involved, due to that reason which we are called as what? Biological nitrogen. Next is what? How the nitrogen can fix in the soil. See, nitrogen gas which is present in the atmosphere. Okay, more than 71% of nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere. Okay, so these blue-green algae and cyanobacteria which take nitrogen from the atmosphere, and in the soil it converts the nitrogen, complex nitrogen substance into the nitrogen gas into nitrogen substance. It converts nitrogen gas into the nitrogen compounds. Okay, how? By the action of these blue-green algae and cyanobacteria. Okay, it takes nitrogen gas from the air and it converts, so usable form of nitrogen compounds in the soil. Okay, these are present in the soil, these bacteria which are present in the soil, and these bacteria takes from nitrogen from the atmosphere and it converts usable nitrogen compounds, and these nitrogen usable compounds which increases the soil fertility. This is how the fixation, how the nitrogen is fixed in the soil. Okay, so these are the two bacteria. So these are the two microorganisms that are used for the fertility of soil. How? By the fixation in soil. Next, cleaning the environment. Okay, microorganisms, you know that these microorganisms have the capacity to decompose the dead and decaying organisms. Yes, the plants and animal waste and ultimately convert. These are also the environmental friends. Okay, microorganisms are environment friends. These organisms which decomposes the plant and animal waste and ultimately convert them into manure. These organisms which help us to convert the manure, and microorganisms decomposes dead organic waste plants and animals and convert them into simpler substance, and these substances are again used by the other plants and animals. So microorganisms are used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby clean up the environment. Okay, so the continuation of this lesson I'll take in next video. Okay, thank you.